All right, dealing with anxiety part 2. This one is about understanding your anxiety. Okay, so when you understand the thoughts and situations that trigger those feelings of anxiety, you can better help yourself prevent and manage it, right? So a behavior log is something that can really help with that. That's something I do myself. Just thoughts on, like, if something's coming up, ooh, you gotta take that down, right? Okay, so today we're gonna talk a little bit about that, about a behavioral log. Alex's story. I'm gonna read a story to you about a man, a boy, named Alex, okay? This is like a little story time. Alex thought he always felt really anxious around other people and in social situations. He was afraid he would say or do something that would make him look stupid or make people laugh at him. He thought he always had to be a little guarded to keep doing or saying something embarrassing. There were only a couple of people with whom he felt comfortable enough to be himself. Alex would have liked to be able to relax enough to meet more people, but he didn't know how. His counselor told Alex it could help him to explore how different people and social situations affected him. She asked him to try keeping a behavior log to make him aware of the times and situations when he experienced anxiety. He was surprised to realize that he was very highly anxious only in certain situations with certain people. So by taking that log, he was able to determine that it was only with certain people, usually peers whom he perceived as smarter than himself. Okay. He realized that there were also many times when he felt confident, mainly with adults, but also with peers that he felt were at his same intellectual level. This new knowledge helped give him the courage to better handle the times he did feel anxiety and to take small risks to meet new people. Okay, so this is a story of someone who's like, hey, I'm not feeling really good around. I don't want to feel uncomfortable and nervous when I'm around other people. So what he did was he took note of when he was feeling a certain way. At this time, at this day, these were the circumstances. Okay, so he was basically able to recognize, I'm only feeling this way when I'm around people that I feel are smarter than me. So he felt more confident when he was around people that were at the same intellectual level or with adults, right? So he was able to pinpoint those situations. Okay. And that is, again, so the acknowledgement. This is how you acknowledge these things. We talked about the importance of acknowledging, but this is a good way to do it, right? Because you're now, like, by doing a log like this, you're keeping track. It has really helped to identify what you're struggling with and when. Okay. So, one technique that is used when you are trying to determine how you are, why you're anxious, when you are anxious, is thought stopping. Okay. That is when you notice that you're having a thought that causes some anxiety. This requires mindfulness and self-awareness. So choosing a way to immediately and forcefully tell yourself to stop this thought. So sometimes people out loud will say, stop, right? Or in your mind. Out loud or in your mind, whatever works for you. Some people might be more visual, so they might picture like a big, bright red stop sign, okay? Or they might keep a rubber band around their wrist and snap it gently to kind of just like snap, just like bring their brain back to where they want it to be, okay? Some might exchange the anxious thought for a peaceful one, okay? If you're thinking negative, how do I reframe that to something positive? And you can plan your peaceful thought ahead, so it's ready when you need it. You could always have that in mind. When I feel this way, I'm going to think this. And then you could say your peaceful thought out loud, and then keep your mind focused on that peaceful thought until the anxious one is completely gone. This is reframing. That's what this is. Okay, so this is what thought stopping is. This is a great technique to really work through that anxiety. When I personally, the technique that I typically use, and it's kind of silly, but it works for me, is that if I'm thinking something negative about myself, I literally shake my head. It's like I'm like shaking off the thought. And it might look ridiculous to someone passing by or whatever, but it helps me to be like, nope, I'm not going to think that way. And then I reframe. And then I say, instead of saying this negative thing about myself, I'm going to say this positive thing, okay? This is an actual evidence-based technique that therapists will tell their clients or the patients to use when dealing with anxiety. And it seems pretty simple, right? It's just stopping and reframing. It takes practice, right? We fly through our days quickly with a lot of things going on. We're thinking about this, we're thinking about this, we're scrolling here, we're scrolling there. So it takes effort to really stop yourself in those moments. So it's something that you have to build on. Again, I shake my head. Some people use that visual. Some people just tell themselves in their brain and repeat their peaceful thought until their anxious one is gone. Okay, this is thought stopping. Okay, so thinking of thought stopping and thinking about what Alex did with his little journal, he took a little thought log. I want you to take some time to write down in your journal your own behavioral log. Maybe just jot it down today. Say, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, however you want to do it. You can do it just for today. You can write it down. It's the beginning of the day. It's advisory right now. So you could say science, math, English, the classes you're going to take, and maybe start making some notes around those. Maybe you feel super anxious in math because it's a little more difficult for you. Okay, but like thinking about the time and the place and the feelings and writing them down is a great way of understanding your anxiety. Okay, and then what I also want you to do, so I want you to kind of jot down like a little log, like whatever that looks like for your day. If you want to do the day, the week, then what would your peaceful thought be? Whatever a peaceful thought would be for you, you can envision yourself being in a specific place, or you can just reframe it with a more positive statement. Okay. Take this time, write down in your journal that log. What's your peaceful thought? Teacher, I would encourage you to share your peaceful thought. Take some time, reflect, do these things. See you next time.